Hello, my darlings. Oh, it's a little dark. Let me fix. Much better. Okay, so I figured today, since, I love YouTube and I love watching all these storytime videos that all these people tell. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous, but hey, some people's lives are crazy. So, I decided to tell you the story about the time I went to jail. Yes, jail. And it was no fun. There was this crazy bitch in there, but I'll get to that in a second. So, I will just hop on into it and get this story started. It happened about when I was, I want to say 17, 18. I was old enough to know that what I was doing was probably freaking stupid, but, you just don't think about it then. So, I had a few friends that, I guess they weren't the best influences, but when I was their age, I wasn't that great either. I was a troublemaker. I got in a lot of fights, and, but I also have anger problems, but we'll get to that another day. So, my friend had lived in this house in Lawrenceville for, her whole life, almost, and something had happened with the owners that her and her family ended up getting kicked out and, left a majority of their stuff there. So, we decided in our, us being dumb and young and just stupid, we decided we were going to go over there at 3 o'clock in the morning because hopefully, the neighbors will be asleep and all this stuff. So we all piled up in her little, tiny Mitsubishi Eclipse. I'm sorry if you can hear the yard work outside, by the way, because the fiance is out mowing the grass. Anyways, we decided we were going to go at 3 o'clock in the morning. We loaded all up in her car and headed over there. It was only maybe 10 or 15 minutes away from where her grandma had lived then. And that was probably 20, 30 minutes from where I was living with my grandparents. So I went with them, and, everything was going fine. We were joking around. We were laughing. We were cutting up. We were saying, oh, how shitty would it be if we ended up in jail? So, dogs, right? So we get over there, and they're getting out of the car, and they have all these tools and stuff, and I'm like, well, what is going on? Why do you guys have tools? And they're like, oh, nothing. We want to be prepared just in case the door's locked and all this stuff. And I was like, it doesn't really make any sense, but okay, whatever. Go do what you have to do. I was standing watch out, so I stayed in the car, or watch out, not watch out, look out, duh. So my dumb ass thought it was a brilliant idea. Hey, I'll just sit in the car and I'll wait for you guys. Yeah. So 15, 20 minutes later, I'm sitting in the car, I'm smoking, I'm sitting there, I'm playing on my phone, and all of a sudden, I see these headlights. And it was like a little dirt road and some shitty little street, and I see... Okay, now, back to what I was saying before my camera died. Went and made some popcorn because, hashtag fat girl life. Anyways, I think I left saying that it was like some shitty street. Anyways, so I see these headlights pull up, and they're pulling up, and it's being awfully shady, and then all of a sudden they turn off, and I'm legit, what the fuck is going on? So all of a sudden, I don't see the car anymore. So I'm like, what? What? Where could this car have gone? It didn't just disappear. It didn't get abducted. What the fuck? So, next thing I know, there is a knock on the window. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to get murdered. This guy's going to kill me. And I don't understand. So I'm freaking out. And then I hear a click, click. And I turn, and there's a freaking shotgun barrel in my face. Thank you, Lawrenceville Police Department. You scared the shit out of me. I had to change my panties. Anyway, so they come up. They're holding, there's 3 or 4 officers. They all have their guns drawn like I'm some, like, felony person that has been in jail a million times, that, you know, I'm known to be violent. Anyways, so they're like, who's in the house? Who's in the house? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Because, you know, I ain't no snitch, bitch. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And they're like, you're lying, bitch. You know, so they take me out of the car, not even gently. They don't even let me get out myself. They drag me out of the car. Keep in mind, the gun is still pointed at me. So, they drag me out of the car, and they put me in handcuffs, you know, the uncomfortable way, not even up front, like, nice. They put me in the back of the freaking car, and they start looking for my friends that went in. So they keep asking, what's her name, what's her name, what's her name, what's her name? So I'm like, I don't know, I just met them, you know, I don't know, we just came out here, blah, blah, blah. So they were like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. These mother freakers run through the woods and leave me to fend for my freaking self. I was like, you pieces of shit. I'm going to go to jail by myself, and you guys are going to get out of this bullshit and be, you know, just fine. But it didn't happen that way. They end up, like, she ends up calling her grandpa to come get her. Come to find out, these motherfuckers didn't even tell me what was going on. They were going to steal the copper out of the house. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, you know, they left all their stuff, so they don't have any stuff. They've got to go get all their boxes or whatever. They were going to go steal all the copper pipes out of the house to make some money. So I'm like, that's a felony. That's ridiculous. Like, that's freaking crazy. And now I'm getting arrested for something that I didn't even do. So they catch them, all this stuff, or turn themselves in, whatever. So, you know, I go to jail, we all go to jail. They both get bonded out, you know, before that first night is even done. My grandparents, you know, they're Puerto Rican and Cuban, so they're hella strict. They're like, no, bitch, you're gonna suffer, you're staying in there until you've learned your lesson. So I'm like so upset, I'm like, please come get me, yada yada, I'm hating this. So they put me, I guess, you know, because I get a little crazy. I have these really bad anger issues, and if somebody says something, I snap and I black out and I don't know what I'm doing. So I was going to get into a fight in the holding cell. So they move me into, like, a different cell. It's not as big as the holding cells. It's just a normal cell. So I'm just sitting there looking out the window being hella upset. And they bring this lady in there. A pregnant lady, okay? This bitch has to be crazy. So she's sitting there like this, with her knees up like this, holding on to herself. When she sits down, she's like rocking. And not only is she just rocking like a fucking psycho, she keeps saying, I had to kill him. He had to die, that motherfucker. He had to die. So I'm like, what? Are you what? So I'm banging on the door, and I'm like, please let me out. I'm going to die. She's going to kill me. Do you know what she did? And, blah, blah. And all the cops think it's so funny that they put me in there with some bitch that killed her husband, obviously. I mean, her boyfriend, whatever. She killed somebody. I mean, she's sitting there rocking, telling whoever she's talking to, all the little voices in her head, she's telling them, I had to kill him. He had to go. So, you know me. I'm having a panic attack. I'm probably going to die today. And then my parents come and get me. My young ass, you know, my delinquent ass, they come and get me. Right? So, needless to say, I never really fucked with those people again. Long story short, you know, I learned my lesson. I went to jail one more time after that. But it was over nothing. It was just a speeding ticket that I thought I handled. But I owed like $100 on it or whatever, which I had to jump to 3 different jails. No, my God. It was underage drinking I went to jail for the second time. Yeah. That's, you know, I've had a rough life. So, I guess that's it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, I've done some pretty crazy shit in my life. If you would like to hear more stories like this, leave a like below, and I will be sure to tell you some more stories, because I'm guilty of it too. I love watching story times, especially by Tana. God, I always fuck up her last name. I butcher it. Tana whatever. She's wonderful. I love her. Love her. Tell her I love her. Okay? Say, Tana, Ashli loves you. You the bomb, bitch. Hashtag my inspiration to start YouTube. Thank you. Love you, Tana. Anyways, I'm guilty. I love them too. I love to hear about what kind of crazy shit people have done. But if you want to hear more, leave And if you made it to the end of this video, leave a comment that says hippopotamus ass. Yeah? Hippopotamus ass? No, because I made it bubble butt last time. Let's do spaceship. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a comment in the comments that says spaceship. If you want to see more story times like this. They're crazy. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe down below. Follow me on Instagram. Add me on Facebook. I will talk to you. I will love you forever. I will link all of them below. All my social medias. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I want to get to know you if you want to get to know me. I love you guys so much. All, 16 of you. But keep in touch. Leave me a like. Subscribe to my channel. There's something else I normally say, I feel like. Psych! Bye, bitches!